This is the section under this is under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use, fair use. This is not for monetary gain.
The same, these Illuminati Jews have now founded a Mystery Babylon system. The same men, the same system. They were responsible for the French Revolution and the Order of the Illuminati in its founding. Now they control the United States behind the scenes. I believe there has been basically a coup d'etat in America. They control Russia, and they control almost every nation on earth. Here's from the Austin American Statesman. Talks about George W. Bush going over to Israel. And where is he? At the Wailing Wall on the Temple Mount. And what is on his head? The Jewish yarmulke. Did you know he's a member of the Skull and Bones Society? And the Skull and Bones Society, when they're initiated at Yale University, they declare themselves to be Jews. And they say, we oppose all the Gentiles of the world. Look at some of these pictures of powerful American senators, presidents, and so forth, meeting with the head of the Lubavitcher cult of Judaism. Of course, the founder of communism was Karl Marx, a Jew, also a high priest of the Church of Satan. Hey, in Soviet Russia, it was the Jews that founded, the Illuministic Jews, who founded Soviet communism. Don't think they were just communists. They weren't even Russians. Most of them, they were Jews, and some of them were from the United States. The Jewish Illuminati, who were underground but had billions of wealth, now are the masters of the Russian Empire. These Illuminati Jews have now founded a Mystery Babylon system. The same men, the same system. They were responsible for the French Revolution and the Order of the Illuminati in its founding.
Okay, so let's get into it. First, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekakadash. Yahweh been the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai been the name of His only begotten Son, who they ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Now we're going to break down this Garden of Eden situation. And it's a prophecy that Moses was given. You see, because the Lord deals with twofold prophecies. So, first precept, we're going to start with Numbers 24 and 20, talking about dealing with the return of Yahushua and the enslavement of these Edomites. But notice verse 20, it says, and when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. So, okay, Amalek was the first of the nations. What does that mean? Amalek is going to be ruling. When Yahushua come back, Amalek is going to be ruling. And Amalek is going to be in that land over there. Let's go into, let's see here. Let's get Luke real quick. Luke chapter 21. Get Yahushua's word in 24. It says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captives into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. When is that time going to be fulfilled? Verse 27. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. That's when the Gentiles will not be ruling in Jerusalem. Right now, you got the top, the worst of the heathen, the wicked of the earth, the border of wickedness, the most wickedest peoples in the world, Amalek, ruling in Jerusalem and from Jerusalem. You got Zechariah 9 and 6. It says, and a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. Ashdod is the Holy Land. Okay? And the people that's ruling over there, we know what they doing nowadays to these peoples in Gaza. Okay. Now let's go to get into this garden situation. So we got Genesis was it 3? But to understand Genesis 3, you gotta understand Ezekiel. Now, real quick, let me get second elders to set the foundation that this is Moses giving this prophecy. And Moses was told to do something. But see, everybody don't read the Bible. But second elders 14, it says that I'm gonna get right to the point, verse 3. It says, then he said unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up to the mount of where I held him by me a long time, and told him many wondrous things, showed him the secrets of the times and the end. Was he showing him the beginning only? See, was he showing Moses the beginning only? No, he was showing him also the end of the times. And it was going to be a secret, which he reveals to the children of Israel. He reveals to the prophets, his servants. What's that? Amos 3 and 7 and Deuteronomy 29 and 29. He revealed these things to the Israelites. And he was giving him the end. Oh, let's go ahead and get that. Look what Yahweh said in Isaiah and how he worded it too. Oh man, this is perfect. I ain't even have to say it. I'm going to let the Lord say it. Isaiah 46 and 10. He said, declaring the end from the beginning. From Genesis, he was declaring the end. And from ancient time, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. In Genesis, he was declaring the end. He was talking about the serpent in the end time. That's what he was talking about. That's what he was getting at. What was going to be going on in the end times with the chosen. You see, and that don't mean it didn't happen in the beginning, but it was also going to happen in the end. That's why Solomon says nothing new under the sun. Now let's go into Ezekiel now and get the full understanding. Now Ezekiel 31, here in verse 3, it's going to set the foundation for what was going on in the so-called Garden of Eden. It says, behold, a Assyrian was a cedar. What does that say? That means a man was a tree. A man was a tree. A man was a tree. Okay? That's the first understanding that you got to know. A man was a tree. Okay? Then he says, let's hit the points, the major points. Let's see here. Okay, a man was a tree. Oh, verse 6 is what I want. You got to get the whole understanding. It says, all the fowls of the heaven made their nests in his boughs, and under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring their young. He said he's going to rule over the fish of the sea. You're going to rule over the fowls and all the animals. You're going to have dominion. He told Adam this now. In chapter 2, I'm thinking, of Genesis. Chapter 2 of Genesis. But so he says, under his shadow dwell all great nations. See, this tree had other trees that was in the garden with him. Okay? And these tree had other men that was in the garden with him. This tree had other nations that was in the garden with him. Adam was a nation. What's that? Genesis 5. See, the generations of Adam, the nation of Adam. When you talking about the generations of something, that's talking about the nation of it. Like Genesis 36, when it says the generations of Esau is Edom. Okay? So it's giving you the nation of Edom that it's talking about when it's saying the generations. That's why in Exodus 17 and 16, it says that he's going to war with Amalek from generation to generation. See, all of the nation of Amalek, this is what he's going to be warring with these people, because they're going to be the first of the nation. So let's find out these other nations, these other trees that was in the garden. Look at verse 9. It says, I made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of God envied him. So now these other trees was envious, and these trees was men. See, these other men who was trees was envious of him. Okay, and this is why they tried to this is why they brought their deception. Now let's go to Genesis real quick. Genesis 3. Now, so it said it was a tree. Okay. Now it was something that I wanted out of here. Now you got verse 1 that talks about a beast, but the beast is bringing out this the serpent situation, because you got the serpent is a beast, and men are talked about as beasts too in the Bible. But you also got Revelation. So Revelation, you got this beast and you got the serpent. They all the same thing. Okay? And this is another thing connecting the beast and the dragon. See, it said the dragon and the beast is the same thing. Let's get that real quick. The dragon and the beast is the same thing, because this is really how you get the understanding of Revelation. Okay, let's get 13 and just break it down real quick. This Revelation 13 and 4 says, and they worship the dragon or the serpent, both of them the same thing too, which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? Okay? And we know this beast has a military, because you can't make war with him. He got a military that's elite situation, and plus he got power over the military to tell them what to do. And we already seen in the video that who controlled Babylon the Great, America's great military? Amalek, the small hat, the tiny hat, the little hat, peoples with the fake sideburns, man. Now, here, just like the video, it says in verse 7, and it was given him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds, tongues, and nations. See, they controlling all the nation. These red dragons that's over there, these bastards that's in Ashdod. Okay? And so when you go to verse 9 of 12, it breaks down who is this beast that is talking about, because this serpent gave his power to the beast, because they the same situation, they the same thing. Verse 9, it says, and the great dragon, which was a red dragon, because it's that red represents the nation of Edom, which is the forefather of Amalek, and Amalek became the top tribe the ruling tribe, just like the tribe of Judah is the ruling tribe of the nation of Israel. Amalek is the ruling tribe of the nation of Edom. Okay, it says the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. Now that old serpent is talked about in Genesis, but Genesis was giving you the end. So Genesis telling you about this serpent that John is telling you about. It's the same serpent, man. He telling you about the same serpent, because Moses was given a prophecy, okay? A prophecy about the whole world being deceived by a freaking serpent. See, by a nation of people that was like a serpent, a nation of people that was a bunch of liars, and they was called the dragon, which is another word for serpent. See, the great red serpent. That's what you can call it, because that word go hand in hand with each other. Then let's get Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. It says, and I know your works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews. See? Small hats, Amalek, people perpetrating a fraud in the Holy Land. Say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. See? They the adversary. All the way back to Exodus 17 and 16, waiting on the Israelites to come out of Egypt. They the adversary, the devil, the deceiver, Amalek. Then you jump down to verse 10 and keep telling you who these people is. It says, for none of the things which you shall suffer, behold, the devil shall cast you into prison. See, these same devils, who they threw Peter into prison, the Edomites, and were throwing all the Israelites into prison and crucifying the Israelites. See, when doing Nero, they try to say Trump is Nero, because he got that type of spirit that he want to persecute and frame the Israelites under his face. But really, these freaking Amaleks, they are the ultimate Nero. See, Amalek always been persecuting the Israelites. They paid for the slave ships. They had the insurance companies. They had the paying for the minstrel shows and setting up these minstrel shows and becoming famous with these minstrel shows and wearing the blackface, painting the face, mocking and disgracing the Israelites, man. Being some of the biggest slave masters and slave drivers in the whole captivity. Okay? They is the ultimate Nero and Satan and the devil, man. And this is what Moses was bringing out. And let's go back to Ezekiel, because this thing getting real deep in the end. Ezekiel 17. Okay, it says, verse 2, Son of man, put forth a riddle and speak a parable into the house of Israel. So this is about the house of Israel, man. And it's going to give you the tree again, but look at where this tree is being taken. And look at when you go into Ezekiel 31, it's talking about the Garden of Eden. But look at this part, because this is going to give you some clarity. Verse 3, it says, and say, thus says the Lord, a great eagle with great wings, long winged, full of feathers, which had diverse colors, came unto Lebanon and took the highest branch of the tree. That tree, that tree, which was a cedar tree, the Assyrian, which was talking about the nation of Israel, the chosen nation. See, that was that had all the other nations envying them, because the Lord chose them to be the chosen nation, the chosen bloodline. See, the branches off of that cedar, meaning the children off of the chosen race of the Israelites, the sons of God, the Yasharala, they was going to be taken. Verse 4, it says, he cropped off the top of his young tweeds, meaning he took them off the branch or the tree, and carried it into a land of traffic, and set it in a city of merchants. So it's a land of traffic that has a great eagle, the bald eagle. What's that? See, that's Babylon the Great America. That's the American Empire. See, the Israelites and the Israelites was taken into this great city of merchandise. See, this great city where you got merchandise being sold and ships dropping off merchandise nonstop, with a great bald eagle, with an eagle that the Lord is describing as a great eagle. And their national bird is the bald eagle. It don't get no plainer than that. See, so this was a man. This great eagle is also a beast. Okay? This beast took the Israelites and carried they behind off into slavery. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if it has some more meat on that bone. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Jump down to verse 12. Looky. Did we not say that this great Assyrian and this great eagle, look at what it's connected to. Verse 12 says, said not to the rebellious house, know ye not that what these things mean? So Israelites, you don't know what this means? It's talking about a city, a great city that's got traffic in it, and the children of a chosen race is being taken there. See, human trafficking, a city of traffic. Did it say how is it? A land of traffic. Come on, do you not know what this means? Tell them, behold, the king of Babylon is come to Jerusalem. So the king of Babylon is called the great eagle. Babylon the Great. You see there? Babylon the Great came to Jerusalem, which is the children of Israel, took the young tweeds, 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, the ones that can work and hit that cotton field, that sugar cane field, tobacco field, any kind of field you got. It says, the king of Babylon has come to Jerusalem and have taken the king thereof and the princes thereof, and led them with him to Babylon. Okay, this is the riddle. This is the proverb. You can't go on this thing literally. This is a riddle, and who's going to understand it? Unto the house of Israel. He's posing this riddle to them. He's posing this parable to them. And what did Yahweh said here in Matthew 13 and 10 to get right to the, 10 to get to the point. It says, and the disciples came and said unto him, why do thou speak unto them in parables? Why did you talk to the Israelites in parables? It says, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mystery or the secrets or the parables of the kingdom of heaven. With the kingdom of heaven, it's talking about the Israelites. But unto them it is not given, meaning unto the other peoples, that is not the Israelites, it's not given to them. And even the 2/3 that's sitting around trying to follow these dragons and believe the lies of the serpent, the red dragon, the devil, Satan, the synagogue of Satan, the Edomites, the nation of Amalek, who's running every darn thing. You wants to believe him, believe the lies that he's been pushing through his set up Christian church. Cause see, they was setting up them darn churches, man. That's why the Pope got a freaking little hat on his head, and they all talking about that because they giving homage to the Roman Edomites. See, they giving homage to their forefathers that was ruling in Rome. Now, anyhow, let's go into that Babylon the Great, because this is what the prophets was. This is why they was calling this place Babylon the Great, because it was a land of traffic. Now let's get that traffic. This talking about Babylon. It said Babylon the Great is fallen in verse 2, which came the habitation of devils. Why? Because the Edomites was controlling this place. Look at verse 12. It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. Why? Because all the merchants is coming to the city of merchandise, the land of traffic. See, coming to the great eagle, the king of Babylon. It says, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Jump down to 13, the key merchandise at the last two things mentioned. And slaves and souls of men. That's the key merchandise that's in Babylon the Great. It was Israelite slaves in Babylon the Great, in this great city, Babylon. Okay? Now you go to Revelations 11 to break down some more about this great city, Babylon. It says, in their dead bodies, verse 8, their dead bodies shall line the street of the great city. Why? Because they enslaved, they merchandise, they being human traffic for these freaking Edomites, man. And once you they slave, they gonna tell you a bunch of lies. It says, and their dead bodies shall line the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom. It's gonna be destroyed like Sodom and Gomorrah. Plus, it got a whole bunch of alphabet peoples in here, peanut butter chasers and carpet munchers up in here. It says, in Egypt, meaning the land of slavery. Spiritually, it's slavery. Spiritually, it's the house of bondage, like in Exodus 20 and 2, talking about Egypt. It says, where also our Lord was crucified, because they got in this place gods of wood and stone, the Muslims and the Christians having the two greatest religions rampant running through the great city. The two greatest false religions, Christianity and the Muslim, running rampant through Babylon the Great, spiritually crucifying Yahushua, who is the Son of the Most High. Okay, this is what's going on in the great city. The Israelites are spiritually dead. Look at verse 11. It says, and after 3 days and a half, 350 years from 1619 to 1969, you got 350 years. Then when you go into Ezekiel chapter 4, he tell you how long the Israelites is going to be in there. It's going to be 400 plus years. So they're going to be in Babylon the Great for a long period of time, man. Now, let me get... It says, let me finish that off. It says, in 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet. So they was the spirit. They were spiritually awakened. They were spiritually dead as a slave in this great city, and they will have a spiritual awakening in this great city, Babylon, this land of traffic. See, this great eagle, which is Babylon the Great, which is America, the bald eagle. The fourth kingdom, when you go in the second Esdras, real quick, just to pinpoint that, second Esdras 11 and 40. It says, in the fourth came, talking about the fourth kingdom, and overcame all the beasts that were passed, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelled he upon the earth with deceit. See, this is talking about a kingdom. It's not talking about no freaking fallen angels and all of this spiritual angels crap. This is talking about a people that was wicked as all outdoors, telling a whole bunch of lies, a nation of people. And look, it tell you what was this nation. Verse 5, moreover I beheld, and lo, look, a eagle. See, this is what was going to be telling all the lies. Babylon the Great America and they Christian and Muslim churches. The eagle flew with her feathers and reigned upon the earth and over them that dwell therein. See, the eagle is Babylon the Great America, with that great bald eagle on their situation. Plus, this was the serpent that Moses was seeing in Genesis chapter 3. Let's close out with that Genesis 3. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord had made. This is the most wickedest nation out of all the nations that the Lord has ever made. Babylon the Great America. And he said unto the woman, what is it called, Babylon? The Babylon the Great? A woman. It says, ye have, the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. See, don't listen to all the philosophies of all these freaking kingdom that was in all of the kingdom that the Lord had set up. See, this woman, Babylon the Great, they listen to everybody and take all the philosophies under their wing. Plus the ninja woman, see, the Israelite women, they sit around and follow this dragon, and everything he say come out of his mouth, they the main one up in his churches and his Muslim mosques, and they the main ones up in his Christian church when it comes to the Israelites. It says, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, the Most High said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest ye die. Okay, so this is pretty much talking about the serpent, which is Babylon the Great America, and this is the double prophecy. This is the other side of the prophecy. It says, I want to get to the fruit. Here in verse 6, it says that when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was good, pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took off the fruit thereof and did eat it, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So they both was in Babylon, taking the fruit off these people's tree, eating up their philosophies, eating up their wine, drinking the wine of Babylon, drinking the wine of Babylon the Great. See, because that woman was riding on the beast in Revelation 18, because they was all one unit. It was all one team. See, America and NATO and the EU, the nation of Edom, they was all united, and they was all following these red dragons over here in America, who got the Israelites in captivity, getting rich off of their behind with that cotton field money that shot them to the highest heights. Let's see here. Now, it's something too about this nakedness. Let's see where it is. It says, verse 7. It says, "And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked." Okay, now that's going to take us to Revelation. They knew that they were naked. Revelation. Boy, this is a major situation. Revelations 2. Okay, I think it's in Revelation 2. There it is. Look at what it says here in verse 7. It says, he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. And we know that when he say that, when Yahushua say that, that be some major stuff, like he did in Revelation 13:10, when he talking about he leading into captivity shall go into captivity. It says, "To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God, or the Most High." Okay, so I think it's on the next. It's in chapter 3. It goes in with the nakedness, I'm thinking. Yeah, let me see 3. 3. Lukewarm. Okay, here it is. Verse 18. It says, going into the nakedness, it says, "And I counsel you to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou may be rich, in white raiment, that thou may be clothed, and that the shame of your nakedness do not appear, and anoint your eyes with eye salve, that thou may see." So this is the nakedness that he was saying, that they was naked, because just like he was saying here in verse 16, it says, "So then, because you are lukewarm, and neither cold or hot, I will spew you out of my mouth. And because you say, I am rich and increased with goods, and have done nothing, and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art rich and miserable and poor and blind and naked." See, they didn't know that they was naked. See, he opened up their eyes and showed them that they was naked. You didn't even know that you was naked. You didn't know that you was miserable and poor, because you ate the fruit of Babylon the Great and chased after their riches, chased after their money, chased after their living and glamour and all this crap. You were chasing after the riches of Babylon, and you didn't know you was naked doing this. You didn't know that this was going to have you in a miserable state, that you was blind chasing these people money, man, and it made your behind naked. And everybody in Babylon is doing it, because even Babylon is doing it. What is it, Isaiah? He was going to do this to Babylon real quick. Let's get Babylon the Great in Isaiah 47. It says, "Come sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." To get right to the point, verse 3. It says, well, let's get verse 2. "Take the millstone and the grind mill, uncover the locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Your nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, your shame shall be seen." So this is what he's talking about, and they was naked. It wasn't two peoples running around naked. This is not what the story is about. It's about two people that is in error and chasing after the Babylon the Great bag, chasing the bag, I'm chasing after the money. If it ain't about the money, I don't want to hear it. All this kind of stuff, and not knowing with that kind of attitude and not appreciating the words of the Lord, you is a fool, man. Look at him, verse Proverbs. It says, verse 5, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. See, they didn't trust in the Lord. And lean not unto your own understanding. See, they leaning on their own understanding, saying, we want to be rich in Babylon and Great America. See, we want to sit here and let's get that in 30. Because it says it clearly in Isaiah 30. And I'm going to let that go after that. Just to get the point in verse, let's get verse 1 because it says something. It says, because it goes into that nakedness. Verse 30, it says, woe, verse 1, in Isaiah 30. Woe to the rebellious children, says the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with a covering. So you thinking that you covered, see, with this chasing the bag and these riches and this got some money and if you ain't got no money, you ain't nothing type of attitude in Babylon and Great America, not knowing that you naked with that attitude. It says, but not of my spirit. So you covering yourself with the riches of the world and not the riches of the Lord. It says, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Verse 2, it says that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh. See, we got a strong economy. We got a strong job market. We got jobs for everybody. See, it says, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. See, it's a spiritual Egypt that is talking about here. Babylon the Great. Here it is in verse 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame. See, you covered yourself with a covering, thinking that you wasn't naked and ratchet and miserable. But really, that covering is going to be your shame. Because all that thing was to add sin to sin. Say you got the freedom to do whatever you want to do here in Babylon the Great. You ain't got to worry about keeping none of God's laws. You just have to obey pastor and give him some money. See, and be wicked. It says, shall be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. This is what's going to happen to the 2/3 of the nation of Israel. They going to realize that they've been totally eating the fruit of Satan the devil, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. See, because this is what this book was always talking about. Jacob and Esau. See, these Edomites, and they twisted everything, got you thinking about fallen angels, got you thinking about somebody other than Esau, Edom, man. Because Moses was the one dealing with no freaking fallen angels. Moses was dealing with these Edomites trying to kill him, this Amalek trying to kill him, man, when he came out of Egypt. This is what Moses was dealing with. He ain't thinking about no freaking fallen angels and thinking about nothing else, man. See, he ain't even too much thinking about before Adam. He just using that to let you know the Lord always had a chosen nation. He always chose one, a hierarchy. Like in the, what is it, 1 Corinthians 11. The Lord always set up a hierarchy. Him, man, woman, and child. See, him, humans, and animal. It's always deal with hierarchy. The king, the head of the pride, the male animal, the queen bee. See, the king cobra. He always deal with hierarchy. And so, this is how we know the truth, and he gonna reveal these things to us, the Israelites. Let me get that in Daniel 12. He says, verse 4, it says, "But thou, Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end." So the truth gonna come out in the end. "Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." Verse 9, "And go thy way," and he said, "Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are sealed up, it's closed up and sealed to the time of the end." Verse 10, he says, "Many shall be purified, which are the Israelites, and made white and tried," meaning they're going to be pure. "But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand." This is what he told Moses. He going to declare some of Moses' words unto the wise. They going to understand, not a freaking Edomite and a heathen, or Israelite who want to follow a heathen and follow the red dragon, the so-called white man. See, this is what this book is all about. And a Negro got the nerve to run his mouth and say, "Oh, that's the white man wrote that book." The whole book is condemning the man. The whole book is warning you not to eat his fruit, not to drink his wine, not to follow his wicked ways. But you want to sit up here and think this is one of the tricks of the darn man. I tell you, you can tell these folks are totally blind. But I'm gonna leave it there. I just want to bring it out. I want to get that the double thing in Job, where he talked about the prophecies. Bingo, 11 and 6. He says, and that's the spirit, and that he would show you the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is. Know therefore the Most High exact of thee less than your iniquity deserve. So the wisdom is double, man. Just because he was talking about the nation of Adam, don't mean he was staying there. He was also telling you about Babylon the Great America. See, he was telling you about all these situations. And I'm thinking was it Ecclesiasticus? Oh no. Was it Wisdom of Solomon? I'm thinking of Wisdom of Solomon. It gave something about that too. Yeah, here it is, 8 and 8. He says, "If a man desire much experience, she, talking about wisdom now, she knoweth things of old, and conjecture aright what is to come. She knoweth the subtleties of speeches, and can expound dark sentences, and foresee signs and wonders and events and seasons and time." So this wisdom is going to be double. See, it's going to mean for double, meaning it's for one time and it's for another time. See, it's for one season and for another season. It's not always just going to talk about one time and that's it. No, that one sentence, because it say what? Dark sentences. That one sentence, like the third chapter of Genesis, could be for the nation of Adam and for the nation of Israel in the future, a future prophecy. But I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekakadash. Double honors to the elders pushing the truth. Peace to the elect, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, descendants of slaves scattered around the globe on slave ships and through many captivities. Our kingdom is at hand. Shalom.